location I could actually show you today. The wind's been really bad. The location here is at the trap here about 5 days. Got him. You got him. Hello and welcome to the trapping classroom. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what this show is going to be about. It's going to be about a lot of things, but the main thing is just to learn. We're all here to have fun. I'm not an expert. I've been trapping for about 8 years. I like to think I know a few things, but I still have a lot to learn. There's people out there that catch hundreds and hundreds of canines. There's people that catch 2. It's not really about numbers to me. I'm just here to have fun and show you a few things that I know. Oh, you look at this, turkey feather. It's one of the reasons why we trap. To save critters like this against canines. We're really the only line of defense. If you want a lot of turkeys on your property and you have a lot of canines running around, you're probably not going to have a lot of turkeys. And it's not just your canines, it's your raccoons, your possums, skunks, all kinds of animals really affect your turkey population, your deer population. That's a lot of reasons why some people trap is management. Not necessarily the management of your deer herd. That's one reason, but you might trap other people's property. You might be managing their deer herd for them. They're letting you come onto their property to trap, and you're helping them and they're helping you in a way. So we're going to talk a lot about things like that throughout these shows. How to get properties, how to maintain properties, what you're looking for on properties, a couple different things. So we're going to cover a lot of things, but it's interesting whenever you look down on the ground, you never really know what you're going to see. It's always good that I trapped this farm, and when I first got here there wasn't a lot of rabbits and turkeys, but I'm starting to see a lot more of these, and hopefully you will too. I realized I never explained who I was, so I'll take a quick second to do that. My name's Ty Sear. I've been trapping for about 8 years now from central Pennsylvania. I primarily trap before work, but I do take a couple short vacations to run a little bit longer of a line. Not an expert, as I explained, but I enjoy trapping. Alright, what we're going to show you today is probably one of the most common sets out there for canines. It has a little bit of use for other fur bearers like raccoons and things like that, bobcats, the dirt hole set. So let's get right to it. First thing I use, some people want to use an auger. They'll use a drill, to use an auger to get down in for their set. Some people will dig it with their trapping trowel. A lot of work. One of the things that I'll tell you about a lot is efficiency and speed, but doing it in a way that you're consistent and that you can put a lot of sets in a short amount of time. This little thing here saved me a lot of time, and I'm going to show you how I use it, and let's get to it. Alright, first what you're going to want to do is use this pick part. What we're going to use this for is to start our dirt hole. It's a good 7-8 inches right here. We're going to pound this in the ground a couple times. You've all heard it. When you're setting a dirt hole, you're looking for backing. Right here what we have is we don't have a rock, we don't have a stump. I personally don't believe in bringing in logs and stumps unless they're nearby tree lines and they're natural. Some people have their views on those, that they can be placed out in the middle of the field and they'll draw attraction. That is true, but it also draws attraction to other people who's going to come out and look at that log, and then they're going to find your trap, and if they're not honest, they're going to take it. So what we got here is just a little part in the ground where there's a little hump, and it's going to create a backing for us. We're going to put our dirt hole right here, facing down this way, because what we got here is basically a farm lane that's coming up along this these field crop changes here, and the farm lane will go out that way, travel routes. But right here, we put 2 or 3 sets in at a minimum. Everything converges on this spot, so we're going to plug it in here. So what we're going to do is 45-degree angle down. Don't need to be crazy with it. Hit one good solid whack in there, pull it up. Same spot, one good solid whack, pull it up. I like to do about 3 or 4 of these, pull it up. So what you're gonna see is, I'll bring the camera around here, is we already got a dirt hole started. And us pulling this up here has actually created more of a backing for us than we already had. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take our trowel, just put it in that hole that we already created, turn it around, and there we are. We got our dirt hole started. You see that goes straight way back in there. Next thing we're going to do is take our pick again. We're going to come back about 2 inches from the lip of this hole, and I'll explain why in a little bit. We're going to dig down, dig our trap bed out. You're going to get rocks. It's all right. So now what we got is we got a little bit of a bowl started here. Cut out some roots that ran into. Got a little bit of a bowl. We got our trap. I use MB 550s. There's a lot of good traps out there. The one word of advice I'll give you is try to stay consistent on the type of trap you use and the size. It makes it a lot easier when you're digging your trap beds out to know what size to dig out, and it just makes it easier when you're setting. You know, some of them have your night latch pan, some of them don't. So if you're running different pans, then you got different tensions, and it's a lot easier to stay with the same thing. So what we're gonna do is I use chain stakes. Rebar will work. There's other different stakes out there. I like chain stakes for a couple reasons. One, the trap seems to rest a lot nicer in the ground, and 2, it's a little bit less of an item that people steal because it's harder to pull out of the ground. So I'm gonna drive this right down the center of our bed. Drive it down there. Turn it up. Now when you drive it down there, you're gonna see a hole that goes straight down from where your driver pulled out. You're gonna wanna pound that in. And the reason you pound that in is to help with water. If water goes down in there, it's gonna make your stake a lot easier to pull up. So we're gonna give our trap one, pull it tight. That's gonna set the anchor. We're just gonna give it one quick look over. Make sure our J-hooks and everything are secure. Chain's good. And these have a night latch pan. So what I mean by that is you're gonna hear a little audible click when it's set. Put that to the side here. Now, here's where people are gonna judge me. I bet in only peat moss. So I'm gonna throw my peat moss down here, gonna get a nice bowl. Gonna take our trap. Now, I place my trap with the levers towards the hole like this. The reason why is it's less area that we gotta cover up. If I place it like this, look how much bigger my trap bed's gotta be. It's gotta come out here. I gotta shave off even more of the bank. So if I place it like this, what I'm gonna do is put it down in here, get it nice and secure. I'm gonna give it a little half turn. And what that half turn's gonna do is it's already pretty solid in there with that half turn. Trapper's cap, put that over top. Then I'm gonna come with my peat moss. I'm gonna cover this whole area in peat moss. Pack it down nice and solid. Then I'm gonna take my dirt. I'm gonna cover it up. And then I'm gonna come in here on top of it, pack it down again. If you got freezing conditions, you might want to use some calcium chloride. I'm gonna pull that. Put some of this loose dirt around here. And what you're gonna see here is on the front end where your dirt's soft, you're gonna wanna make sure you give that a pack down so that ground's not loose. I come through here, give it a nice little sprinkle, and that's pretty much it. I'm not worried about anything coming up from this side. Everything's gonna work the hole here from the front. You see my trap is about 7 inches back. That's the distance I like to run because that's about the distance they say with fox, 4 or 5, coyotes 9 to 11. So I'm right in the middle because I got both of them. So I'm ready to go. This is a finished set. So the first thing that we would do is, I'm not gonna put this down the hole right now, but take a spoonful of bait. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the bait back in on my, I use this metal skewer just because if you use sticks and stuff, it seems to, the sheep's wool and stuff wants to stay on your stick. So we're gonna put bait down in the hole. And then what we would do is we'd take our lure and we'd get a little dab of lure, put it on our sheep's wool, just about a pea size to do. And then put that at the lip of our hole. And I like to come around the side when I'm doing all this because I don't want to drop any lures down on my set, because if you drop any lure down on there, coyote's attention is going to be there, fox's attention is going to be there, and they're going to dig this up. So what we're going to do is we're going to push this way down in the hole. And the sheep's wool does two things. Hold your lure. It almost looks like a mouse nest down there. And it also, when I say hold your lure, the lure doesn't absorb into the ground. So when you get raining and stuff, it actually will hold up better. So put that down in there, and that's the finished set. So I'll show you it from a distance here. Give me 2 seconds. So whenever I was giving you that demonstration on a dirt hole, I realized that I never explained what I meant by leaving 2 inches from the lip of your dirt hole to your trap bed. And what I mean by that is you need to leave 2 inches. And what that 2 inches will do for you is whenever your critter, your canine, your fox, raccoon, whatever, comes to work that dirt hole set and they start digging at that hole to get what the bait and stuff you put down there, they don't get a toenail hung up on your jaw and pull that trap out of the bed before they had a chance to step on your trap pan. So make sure you leave that 2-inch gap. It's a little bit of a buffer for them to start working your set. There you go. Here's the set from a distance. You can actually see, and I'm probably not showing up in the camera as great as it should, but you can really see the eye appeal that this got. Any canine that's coming up this road here, going out this way or going out into this field to hunt, they're going to see this and they're going to come to investigate it. If I was trapping here, this is summer, so I'm just doing this as a demonstration, I'd have another set further up here, and I would have that pointing a little bit different of a direction to capture some different winds. But anything that comes through here is going to investigate this. It's a perfect spot. One thing I will say, when you're trapping near cornfields that are still standing in trapping season, especially in the early season, take a few minutes, stop in, talk to your farmer, tell him where you put the traps, if it's really a good spot, and that way he's less likely to run them over because he'll know not to take a wide turn right there with his tractor. Early season, we're trapping coyotes and fox. In Pennsylvania, that would be early October. As you can see, I got this corn next to me. What likes to eat corn? Coons. What likes to get into your favorite fox and coyote set? Coons. If I'm only trapping a week, I don't want those raccoons plugging up my fox and coyote sets. I want to be catching fox and coyotes for that week. If I'm trapping 2 weeks, I might feel the very same way. If I catch 2 coons down there, what happens if that coyote stroll by and I don't have a trap to catch him at? So you see I'm holding a DP trap. This has really revolutionized coon trapping. I don't need to go into all those details. But this trap has a lot of use, even for the canine trapper. And how I like to use these traps is I like to come 70, 80, 100 yards. I could even go up there a little bit further. And I like to take 1 or 2 of these and plug them in along these cornfields or long tree lines leading up to where my set is. So I'd put one in here. I might put one further down there because I'm going to drive by. It's not hard for me to check, and it's taking time. It's saving me time because I'm going to catch coons in this that I'm not going to catch down there and ruin up my set. So all you're going to do is, and I'm not going to stake this in the ground, but you're just going to do it the same as you typically would. Stake it in the ground, lure it up, set it. So we'd set this sucker up real quick with the lure. I'm just going to plug it right down here in the ground. Put a little bit of fish oil if I need to, but really I'm just going to put something sweet in that. Any coon coming down along here, trying to make his way to my set, is going to smell this, investigate, and I'm hoping I'm going to catch him here before I catch him down there because I want that coyote or that red fox down there. Just a little trick, little time saver. It'll save you and help you catch a lot more canines. So you can see right here, plugged in the DP that I'm talking about. If you see down there where the truck is, right off that truck is where we made that mock dirt hole set. So if you look down there, that's where we want to catch them coyotes and fox that are coming through. There's a field change there, a farm lane. We want to catch them down here, but we don't want our coon plugging up that set. So I got this DP right here. I'm not going to disturb any fox or coyotes that come through. I'll put a little sweet smell down there. And I'm hoping that I'm going to catch that coon here before he gets down there. We're here on a farm lane. A lot of us trap near farmlands. When you're driving these farmlands, or you're walking them in the summer, or you're out scouting for deer, or whatever you're doing, don't forget to look down. These farm lanes tell stories. They're going to tell you the amount of critters coming through this area. You're going to see signs, scat, tracks, especially a day after it rained. These farm lanes will tell you a lot. If you look down here, we got ourselves some scat. Looks like it's probably fox. If you're running chain stakes or cable stakes, you're going to need a good puller. I had a buddy of mine weld this one up, make this one. So we're going to get ready to offset our trap. I can't pull that even if I tried. So what you're going to do is you're going to hook the hook, go down here on a piece of chain, give it a couple of twists, pull up. Pull up, wrap it around again. Get a little bit further down here. That's all there is to it. Now I can reuse this again and again. Just got to clean out the end. But I can keep reusing this over and over again. One thing I do want to tell you too, when you're pulling your sets at the end of the season, don't leave it like this. Take a few minutes, take your hand, your shovel, even your puller, rake, whatever you got on you, and just make it look a little bit more the way it was when you got here. Step on it. If you're coming back later in the year, you might want to leave it the way it was. You'll have fox and coyotes come in there, be working it. But if you're done for the year, take a few minutes, just pack it down, leave it the way it was. You kind of want to do your best to leave the ground and the property undisturbed. That's going to make the farmer a little bit more happy. It's not your fault if the coyote or fox comes back and digs what's down there, but at least you're making an effort to make it look the way it was before you got here. Unless you're like me and catch lots of coyotes, then this area won't look the same.
Thank you for joining us on our first episode of the Trapping Classroom. I know I had fun making the video. I hope you enjoyed watching it. So join us in a few weeks. I'm going to be going through a little acronym that I really use a lot, and that's TRAPS. Time, resources, area, population, and skill. Those are really the 5 things that I really believe you need to identify and build upon to become a successful trapper. You need to know how much time you have, figure out what type of trapper you are. You need to have the resources available to you. Got to work on your area, what the population is like for the animal that you're trapping, and build upon your skill level. So next week I really think I'm going to focus on the area piece of that and the time. So how much time do you have available to you, and the area, what properties are you looking to trap, and the process I go through to identify those properties and build a trap line. So it's that time of year. We're gearing up, getting ready for trapping season. We're trying to get those new properties. So hope you take the time to join us whenever we upload the new episode. But until then, I hope that you're having fun getting ready for trapping season, because that's what it's all about.
Oh, I gotta start off. Hello, welcome to the Trapping Classroom. I'm Ty, and I'm going to tell you why we're doing this. One, I can use that. What we're going to show you today on today's set is probably, the bug went across there, didn't it? Could you see it?
Mm-hmm.
All right, give me a second. Roll it. All right, welcome to this episode.
Is there a glare?